Diary of an Adopted Son. All right, so hey, I appreciate you guys watching the series. So I told you about Mary Tillman, which is my adopted mother, Charles Tillman, which is my adopted father, Willie Harrison, which is my biological father, and Cynthia Yates, which is my biological mother. Okay, so those are the four people in the diary of an adopted son that made this all possible. All right, so I want to talk about these people, and give you a little insight before I go into the childhood experience, middle school, high school, college. I'm breaking it down for you. Diary of an Adopted Son. All right, so let's talk about Mary Tillman first. All right. Wow, I don't know where to start. Such an incredible woman. Mary Tillman. She was born in. She's from Mississippi. And yeah, she's from Mississippi. She was always a nurturing type of woman, still is. And she adopted me along with my father, Charles Tillman, when they were 38 years old. Okay. And yeah, I mean, I remember my mom, Mary Tillman, she always made sure we had everything. Like I remember my mother missing a payment or making half on a payment on one of her vehicles one time just so I could have some new shoes. Mary Tillman. I remember everything. I mean, she disciplined us as well. And she made sure we went to school. Like for me, my mother, Mary Tillman, she always made sure and instilled in me personally. I don't know about my other brothers and sisters, but she always said, Anthony, you going to college. Like I was the first person to go to official college in my whole family, the adopted family. Okay, so to refresh the Diary of an Adopted Son, my adopted family, it was a lot of us. It was three. It was me, my two blood sisters, my brother Amir, his two blood sisters, that's 6 kids. Then she had 2 foster kids, which I still consider my sisters, Star and Shakita. Okay, so that's 8 kids, and then she had her own biological son, which is Ben, in the house, so that's 9. And then Mary and Charles Tillman, that's 9, 10, 11 people. So the house wasn't small, but it wasn't big. Mary Tillman, she put us 2 to a room. Okay, so it was me and my brother Amir, and then the room next door, upstairs, she put all 3 of my little sisters in the same room. The room looks so small now, but back then it was big. We was kids. And then my older sisters, they had the room to the right of us. Okay, so they put us in those rooms, and then they eventually ended up building a room in the basement. And then they had a room that was attached to the garage where they built their own room in the garage. And then a room next to the garage, which we called a little room, was also a bedroom. So we kind of like always had our own bedrooms in a way, One thing I will say about Mary Tillman, she always claimed us as her kids, and I know some people who adopted, they didn't have that experience. I've been blessed, to be honest with you. Mary Tillman, she always said, these are my kids. Like, I remember that, and she never called us adopted kids. I'm only saying adopted so you can understand. I mean, that's my mother. Don't get it twisted. But I'm saying adopted mother so you can understand the difference between her and Cynthia. Cynthia is my biological mother, all right? I consider she's my mother as well. Don't get it twisted on that either. But Mary Tillman, she always claimed us as her kids. I remember that. Like, Mary Tillman was always like, these are my kids. That's my son. Even my father, Charles, we'll get on him on another day. He always said, that's my son. That's my daughter. Like, so that was one thing I really appreciated with Mary Tillman, my mother. And like I said, she's from Mississippi. She was always a person that was nurturing. She always took care of us. She cooked meals every night. She loved cooking. Christmas, it was wonderful. She always was lighthearted. She was a lighthearted person. She did whoop us and we did get disciplined, but I remember kindness and gentleness from Mary Tillman, my mother. And yeah, so she married Charles Tillman, my father. And yeah, I mean, their relationship, I always tried to model their relationship. I mean, they're still married to this day, 50-something years. you know, and I always wanted that. I always wanted, because I love the feeling of coming home from college, you know, coming home from just coming home to a family that's still married, where your parents are still married, and that's what I had, you know, and it was a great feeling, and kids need to experience that. So, just a little thing about Married Tillman Part 1, you know, just kind of breaking down everybody that was in my life with the Diary of an Adopted Son. Like I said, the whole point of this is for you to send this to somebody so they can reach out to their biological parents, okay, or biological sister or brother, okay, because this is going to be a long series, because I got a lot of sisters and I want to talk about all of them as well. So trying to keep this in under 5 minutes. Diary of an Adopted Son. All right, these videos are unscripted. I don't know where this is going to be placed. I'm just shooting them as I go. This is Anthony. Peace out.